Hey, it's Mark Ferguson with Invest for More, standing outside one of our house flips we are currently working on. Now we're going to do a walkthrough, show you the progress we've made and talk about all the numbers. And then we're also going to talk about a few things. One, the 90-day flip rule, and also just one of our contractors and how he kind of skipped town on us while working on this one. So we'll talk about those, and of course check out investformore.com for much more information on our flips, rentals, being an agent, wholesaling, all of that good stuff. We also have 8 books on Amazon if you're interested in getting more in-depth information. We've got links to all that good stuff in the description below. All right, so this house we bought from some other flippers. They also wholesale houses once in a while for about $156,000. It's in a neighborhood with a mix of single-family homes, manufactured homes, modular homes, and mobile homes. So it's an interesting area. Our dumpster got filled up over the weekend by the neighborhood, so we got to get that out of here. That happens often if you leave them around too long. And as you can see, this is a manufactured home. It has a purged title, which means it is attached to the ground with a foundation. And because of that, and the county recognizes it and the state recognizes it, it's much easier to finance a property that's purged than one that is not purged. So when we bought it, it needed some work, but not much at all. And we've got the before video in the description below as well. You can see we replaced the floors, I've done a few minor repairs, and then we're getting ready for paint. So we're gonna do very minor work here. Literally $15,000 in work maybe, and then we're hoping to sell it for around $230,000 in that price range. We'll also have another $15,000, maybe $20,000 other costs, selling costs, carrying costs, and financing costs. So this is going to be a very easy, quick rehab and flip. We do, 20 to 30 flips a year, and most of them are much more involved than this. But because of that, it brings into play the 90-day flip rule. And I'll talk about that in just a second. But I want to mention too, we are going to paint these cabinets, and I'm just looking here. We did some repairs on them, but that doesn't look amazing. And then that is actually the surface of the cabinet that rubbed off, so that's why we have to paint them. We can't just touch them up. And then over here, it's missing a door. So obviously that's not good. And then I believe we were replacing these countertops as well. So a few things we'll have to check on with our contractor. We'll also most likely at least replace that hood, but we'll talk about those things. Now, with the 90-day flip rule, when you buy a house and try and sell it right away, if you want to get an FHA loan, a loan backed by the government basically, which is what many buyers who live in houses use, FHA says you can't sell the house for a profit or a percentage of profit within 90 days after buying it. So if I buy a house in March and I want to sell it the next month and I have an FHA buyer, it won't work. You have to wait 90 days. So on some of these properties that we do quick, it's great, it's amazing, but it might not be super advantageous if we have an FHA buyer. So we still try and get them done quick and fast, but that FHA rule can hold up quite a few sales. And it's not just FHA, some conventional lenders, some other banks adapt those rules as well. So it is something to be careful when you're flipping houses. As you can see in here, we left the floor, we're leaving the vanities. We're not doing a whole lot in here either because we don't have to. And I mean, we could redo this whole house, put in all new sheetrock, all new bathrooms, brand new kitchen, and it's not going to be worth a whole lot more than $230. It's got a ceiling on what properties are worth in this area. So it's one of these where less is actually more as far as your profit is concerned. All right, now on to the other fun stuff. One of the contractors we recently hired, who is doing great, left us just dry. And I talked about this before in another video, but this is one of the houses where he had asked us to do an entire house himself. We started him with some other jobs, some small jobs to start with to see how he did. He did great. I'm like, okay, you can do this one, although it's not a huge job. You can do this house. And I think he spent one day working here, and then guessing it was some personal stuff, but he skipped town, he was gone, didn't reply to texts, didn't reply to emails, didn't reply to phone calls. We had let him store some of his materials, his trailer, some different stuff in one of our garages because he is from out of town. And he took all that stuff, left a bunch of his supplies that we had bought for him for properties in that garage and just took off. So that's part of the business. I know a lot of people say, man, you're always ragging on your contractors, you're always talking bad about them. And my answer is, I tell it like it is. I don't leave out many things in my business and what happens. And for people who want to flip or get into this business, I think it's important to know everything that goes on, everything that happens. So we did have another one of our newer contractors take over this job, and he's been doing pretty decent. So that's good to know and good to see. So we're doing less flips right now than we have been doing. I think we have 9 or 10 active right now, and 5 of those are under contract to sell, all finished. So we've needed less contractors, fewer contractors recently than in the past. So that's been nice too. And I think it's actually made things a lot easier as far as the business goes and not letting things slide. So the back, you can see, we'll probably paint the entire back of this. There was some rotten trim. We replaced that. There was a shed back here that I think one of the neighbors actually took. They asked for the wood on it. We're like, sure, go ahead, take it. Our murder shed right here got all cleaned out. Ooh, it really does look like a murder shed with that stuff. But so we have one little storage shed here, and then we cleaned up the rest of the yard. But we're supposed to have sprinklers and water on this yard, and we don't. So I also asked my landscaping guy, yard guy, hey, what's going on? We're supposed to have water hoses, sprinklers on every yard that does not have a sprinkler system. And then any sprinkler systems we do have should be up and running and working right now to try and keep the yard green. So we are in Colorado. It is a very dry area. A lot of people think it snows all the time here. We get 14 to 15 inches of moisture a year, including all the snow and rain. So any green grass in Colorado you see is irrigated. It has a sprinkler system. It has people watering it because it will dry up and die very quickly without water. All right, so that's the house. Things have been going very smoothly for us so far. Even with coronavirus, houses are still selling almost better than they were before that. We're still buying more deals. We got another one under contract, kind of another farmhouse flip that we'll be showing as soon as we buy that. I have the mountain kind of river rental property I have under contract that we're buying, I think in June 24th. So anxiously waiting to buy that one. So make sure you stick around, subscribe to see those. We love all the comments, love all the likes, keep those coming. We'll let you know how this property does, how some of our other flips are going as well. And we'll update you on some of the new flips or newer flips we've bought in the last month or two as well. All right, cool. Thank you guys for watching. Also want to mention we have the Insider program if you're interested. We do a monthly podcast, have a monthly newsletter, and other content just for the insiders. So I'll have a link to that below as well. And we have a new coupon for YouTubers, so you can get a discount since we are increasing the price on that later this week. So be sure to check that out. All right, take care. We will be back with more soon.